Check 1 2. Let us do it.
Check 1, check 2. Smitty and D on the 1s and 2s.
Yes.
Do you like that? I rhymed 2 with 2.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
all like fucking Biggie and shit.
Yeah, you're like pretty much hardcore.
Hardcore to the max, yo. Hardcore to the hardcore, yo.
Yo.
All right.
We are white.
Okay. This was just practice, right? That's not recording, right?
It is.
That's how we're starting?
Yep.
Okay. So we're showing our professionalism right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, thank you for joining the Smitty and D show after dark. We haven't done one of these in a while.
Yeah, well, there's those holidays and whatnot, and obviously we've been kind of being very sporadic, so we thought we would, change it up and be a little bit more sporadic.
Well, we're getting a little rusty, and it's with everything. When you stop doing it, or when you don't do it for a little while, you start to get rusty. You start to get like almost where you don't want to go back. Or like if you have a long vacation from work, it's almost harder to go back. Oh yeah,
you need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah, you need a vacation every now and then. But if you go on for if you go like a 3-month vacation, you go fucking crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you come back, it's harder to get back into the grind. But if you go for a 2-week vacation, you get just enough relax time, but you're still in the mindset where all right, I can still deal with these fucking assholes I got to deal with when I get back. After 3 months, you're like, man, that was way too nice. I didn't have to deal with the interview, fucking cocks.
Yeah, there is a level of okay, that's good enough. I want to go back to work, or it's been too long. Fuck work.
Yeah,
I've been not working so long.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a very fine line.
But I know with a lot of things too, I will find when I was...
Wait a minute, what were we talking about?
We're working, vacations, things like that.
Yeah. Okay, if you guys haven't, just to give you a little preface as to why I don't know what the hell we were just talking about.
Yes.
We've been drinking.
Well, it is an after dark.
It is an after dark, so...
Those are the times where we're going to be, imbibing a little bit. It's going to be a little bit more freeform.
Yes. So,
even though our show's pretty
our show's always freeform, yes. But I just wanted to let you guys know that we will go off the handle and probably be off topic as usual. But this time we have an excuse because we have 140 in us and we're drinking our second.
Yes.
Or at least that's our excuse.
Right. And then who knows? There might be even other things involved. So,
Toke it.
I want to call it just we're going to be Coloradoing later, or we're going to be...
Where's Washington up in this bitch?
Yeah, just if you could mention anything about Washington or Colorado, it's code for I'm gonna smoke. I'm gonna go to Colorado for a little bit.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, let's go to Colorado.
That means I'm blazing.
Man, it's a bad sign because we do a podcast. We've been doing one for almost a little over 4 years now, and we listen to a lot of other podcasts, to listen to shit. But you listen to too much. Like right now, I'm like, man, I wish I had a Joey Diaz voice. All I can think of is being Joey Diaz.
You cocksuckers.
But I don't have the skill to be Joey Diaz. I'm sorry, that was totally random, and nobody knows who I'm talking about. If everybody listens to Joe Rogan Experience, he's a frequent guest there. He also has that one.
He has his own podcast.
We don't need to be pimping him. It's hard enough to pimp ourselves.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's enough people that know about him. If anybody that's listening to us is going, who's Joey Diaz?
Yeah,
I think that's not going to happen. If anything, Joey Diaz needs to be talking about Smitty and D.
God, yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then everybody that's listening to them is going to be like, who the fuck are Smitty and D?
How do we bribe Joe Rogan or any other podcast to be like, hey, man, that's Smitty and D. Those guys are all right, even though they suck because they've been going for 4.5 years and got no people, but they're all right.
And how douchey would it be to, send them an email going hey guys, I love your podcast.
Can you write like that in an email?
Yes.
Can you write?
I'm just imagining that they're reading it, hearing this voice of, hey guys, I'm big and morbidly obese and I make a podcast with my buddy. You should listen to it. It's no, they're not. Fuck that. It seems so on one hand, you almost want to do it because it's obviously trying to get your name out.
Are they reading their emails like that?
No, and they're not going to be listening to it. It's going up to. It's the same thing with me in the radio station, where every time when I mention that I not only I'm on the radio, but I work at a radio station, everybody automatically thinks oh, I need to give that guy my CD. Like, suddenly they're an artist, or they know an artist, or they have, a buddy that's an artist or whatever, and they got to just give me their CD. And, like, a lot of times I'll go like, oh, okay, thanks, but 9 times out of 10, I ain't listening to that shit.
9 times out of 10, it's like 9 times out of 10, it's shit where they rap hardcore with hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. They rhyme that shit. So
like, there was this recently over at my sister's wedding.
Someone was pimping you a CD.
Yeah.
Was it the band?
It was so awesome. No, it wasn't the band, but it was just as good.
Please tell me it was her new husband.
No, it wasn't, but it was like one of her friend's grandmas or something like that. Like, I think it was like one of the bridesmaids' grandmothers, because she was really old and she was black. And she was sitting at our table and we're talking, obviously small talk, well, what do you do? Or what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody always, wants to know what you do.
Yeah.
And obviously I said, like, oh, I work at a radio station over on, at this college. And she automatically was like, my grandson is a DJ. And would you want to play some of his music? I think I got one of his CDs.
Wow, grandma's pimping his shit.
Yeah, and I was like, that's cool that he has a grandma that's like pimping, Yeah. I don't even know if like any of my friends would pimp my shit out or whatever, or my family members. Like, I don't think my mom's talking about like, hey, oh, you're a band? You should come on my son's podcast.
I don't think most of the people I know I do a podcast.
Right.
They're like, what, that podcast? You still
Let
do that?
alone,
it's on
like,
Tuesdays, right?
Kind of book things for you or whatever. But anyway, the best part about this is like, she's like, I asked him like, what's his DJ name?
Oh boy.
And she was like, oh, it's Pussy Slave.
DJ Pussy Slave.
Yeah.
Wow, grandma's pimping a pussy slave. That's not really like hardcore when you say pussy slave. Doesn't that kind of show some weakness? It's like, I don't know.
But aren't you a slave to pussy? I mean,
we all are. I mean, every man is, or every straight man is. I mean, there's definitely a whole section of men who aren't.
Right. I liked it though because it was kind of a double entendre because he was a black man, so it's like. He's calling himself a slave, but it's not a slave. It's a pussy slave. There's a big difference. Like, I don't want to be a slave like a porch slave or a house slave.
A porch slave.
No, like they talk about it in Django Unchained about how there's different types of slaves and whatnot, which obviously there were. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, he doesn't want to just be a slave. Like, he wants to be a pussy slave. That's something commendable.
I guess if you gotta go that route, pussy is the best route.
If you're gonna be a slave, you might as well be a pussy slave.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess, if you want to think of it that way, for sure.
Now that's something we learned already off the bat.
Yeah, there you go. The more you know. Where's the star?
Yeah.
Just awesome.
Man, I was so pissed off at those more you knows because they still have them on TV every now and then.
Man, I haven't. It's only on NBC, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only on NBC, and the one that I wrote recently was like, oh, thanks for telling us that, you dicks. It was some dude from Parenthood, one of the husbands or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And he was talking, Joel, the character Joel, I don't know the actor's name. Okay. We'll look it up. Anyway, he was talking about 55 is better at a driving speed than 65 because not only is it safer, but it's more efficient with gas. So if you want to help the environment, you'll drive 55 instead of 65. And I'm like, that's such a stupid message to send to people, especially in fucking Los Angeles when we are already at a crawl to begin with when it comes to fucking traffic.
You're lucky if you can get up to 55.
Yeah, don't talk about like some golden number like 55. Like,
but you think
I can't even go 35.
But is this okay? Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Is it like the arrogance to think like maybe this message isn't for LA?
Yeah.
Like I don't think NBC only playing in LA. NBC only like shows commercials in LA.
It's not, but I mean,
all over the country. And I'll give you one thing. Like, I don't know about the gas mileage and all that shit. I'm sure that's true and all that. But I'll tell you what. Like, that 55 miles versus 65, this is just my... This is going to... Here comes Morbid Mike. All right?
Yeah,
Here
okay.
it comes. I'm giving you a warning. When I did my little bit with the search and rescue, we did, like, the training with the drunk driving and
the DUI
and
checkpoint and all that? Or?
DUI checkpoints and, like, just the training about, like, speeding and all, the blood on the asphalt.
So you watch
type
red
shit.
asphalt
Basically,
and shit?
yeah. Blood on the asphalt, red asphalt, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But they were saying, like, getting in an accident at 65 miles an hour as opposed to 55 miles an hour, both bad, both percentage-wise is going to end badly.
Yeah.
Right? But 55 percentage is a little slightly better.
Yeah, but like,
it makes sense.
Okay,
I'm not trying to say, hey,
if it's an nth degree difference, you can't say that
like,
it automatically saves way more lives.
No, it was like a significant. It's been like almost 15 years since I did this, so I'm making shit.
Was
half
it
of
significant
making it up,
enough to be like,
it was
oh wow,
enough
that's a lot?
Yeah, it was significant enough for me to go like, huh, that's a big. It was like over 10%.
Was this being told by one of your superiors?
Of course, it was like being told by a cop, obviously.
Yeah,
and told to teenagers.
So obviously,
told
he has
teenagers who are just about to get their driver's licenses.
So I think,
yeah, I mean, there's double reasoning for everything.
That always reminds me of the time where I heard 65% of the time statistics are made up.
That's a great statistic.
So deal with that the way you want to.
Bitch. My mind is blown.
But that's the thing. It's like, obviously he had a vested interest in scaring these kids straight or whatever, or like, making sure that they realize that what we're doing is way better than not doing anything at all.
Right.
And I understand it to a point. I'm not saying let's just have drunk drivers everywhere or whatever. Or, but when it comes to moving people along,
yeah,
in urban areas, come on now. Like, we need to be starting to tell people, like, yeah, drive safe, but move it along.
Yeah, but
like,
keep it moving. Oh, yeah. No, here's more of a message.
Because if you're driving 45 on a freeway, that guy's in more trouble than the dudes that
45 is dangerous. 55 is fine, okay? That's what they make the trucks go, right? But here's more of the message.
Right.
If you're going to go that slow, be in the slow lane.
Yeah, there's a slow lane for a fucking reason.
That's what pisses me off. How many times have you been in the fast lane and there's that guy going 55 to 60 and there's no one in front of him?
Yeah. How many times is the carpool lane going twice as slow as the slow lane?
For no reason.
There's no accident.
That one guy
there
is
ain't
going
nothing.
slow.
And that's the thing
where
and there's no
people just need to know driving etiquette as opposed to
like
speed. Well,
and when it comes to like there's a lot of overall rules that apply to every state, but then there's a lot of little rules that are just for certain states. And then when people come here from other states, or when people drive to other states, they take all of their rules that they've learned and put it into that state. So like there's a lot of states in the Midwest that you can't turn red on right. Or turn right on red.
That was awesome.
Anytime. Like, it's not like on certain intersections or when it's posted. No, it's like that's the law. You can't turn red on the right.
Right. You can't turn red on the right, guys.
No.
Just so you know, that's the law.
Yeah.
You can't turn
and
red
it's also
on the right.
the law to turn right on red. But anyway.
Well, here's my thing. Like,
they go into California, and obviously you can.
Yeah.
But they don't. So you're like, hey, Pops, move it along. And they're like, why are you honking at me? Why are you doing this? It's like, because you're supposed to be moving, and you're not.
But see, that's another thing, too. People don't read the signs on the road like they should. Because I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but in the states where you mostly can't turn right on a red.
Right.
There's a sign that says, no right turn on red. Probably.
But there are certain states that it's like, in that state, you can't do it. You can't turn right on red. Like, even when it's not posted, when it is posted, it's like, that's their law.
Some places that, you really shouldn't. Like, it's crazy. Like, because the roads will be like a 60-mile-an-hour road. It's like a federal highway. Right. Like, man, just chill for a minute.
Right. But then, like, when you go into a city that obviously has people thinking that you can turn right on red, and someone
issue.
in front of you is not, because they're like, and you
So
clearly read their sign or their license plate that says Indiana. You're like, fucking A.
So what's your issue? Like, people read the driving directions?
No, it's because you should know the driving law. If you're going into a different state, you should know all the laws for that driving state.
Question, like let's say I'm going to drive across country.
You should know every law that you're going into. Jesus Christ,
you want me to read like you?
For the most part, I'm not talking about like, oh, how fast or like, you know, how far away from the curb should you be parked. But I'm talking about like big laws, like, okay, we all know that red means stop and green means go, right. But there's a lot of times where you can turn left without a, you know, if there's no left turn signal.
Left turn, yield on green kind of thing.
But a lot of times, like in other states, you can't. But it's not like...
But if it's big like that... You want me to find, like, I would imagine that stuff's posted, so I'm not like gonna be like, hey man, I'm gonna go on a 15-state tour. Give me all the fucking traffic rule law books on all this shit.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I
can't back up on.
Here's what I'm telling. What it should be more realistic of a change is instead of trying to tell everybody that you should know all of our laws if you go into anybody's state, just make it federal known, like just. Statewide, everything's the same. If you go into New York, you can turn red on or right on the red or whatever. Like, you go to California, you can do the same goddamn thing. Like, why is it? Like, why do we all have the same roads? We all have the same fucking, like, everything about it. It's just, why do we have to have the laws be nitpicky and every state's like, you can't tell us what to do. We turn right on reds over here.
Daryl, you want a new world order. You want everyone to be the same.
I just don't understand. That's the battle with everything in this world, or at least in the U.S., is the jurisdiction of should it be the state's problem or the federal problem? Like, that's everything. Like, that's the ultimate question in every debate.
This rant is taking a left turn. Okay, we went from driving to we're going to go into...
I'm trying to bring it more broader so we can get into something else. I'm just saying, like... If you look at any issue, ultimately it's like, well, should the state be in control of it or should the federal government be in control of it? Look at abortion. Look at gay rights. Look at marijuana. Look at all of it.
Everything. The whole gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a fight. Like, well, states have...
That's the thing. Like, ultimately, who decides?
I think the states should decide with the federal, like, governance. You know what I mean? Like, states can choose what they want to do, and the government should basically just back that state up.
Right. So you should have state rule, and then basically the federal government should just be there
have
for
a basis, like,
military defense.
Well, like here's a bet. Like, you got to have the government back it up. Like, there has to be a guideline because you can't be like one state goes crazy and be like, you know what, we're gonna go separate but equal. Everybody that's one race over there, everybody that's another race over here, everybody the other race over here. You're like, well, you can't do that. That's you can't do that. That's illegal. You know, you can't make it that way. So that's where the federal government like has to be like, wait. That's overstepping the bounds a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, there's some guidelines.
This is the whole debate. Like in every political science class I took, all the way through college.
But there's good points all over it, too.
It's called federalism. This is the debate itself of who decides what should be done. It's called federalism.
There's so much of a debate that they fucking have a name for it.
Yeah, and a lot of it is implied or told in the Constitution. Like, certain state, like, it should be controlled by the states for this stuff, but the federal government should be cool for this stuff. You know, like the Federal Reserve. Like, there should be a backup, or there should be some sort of federal institution backing up or insuring the banks that are in the states and shit. So there's like some sort of like, you know, so we don't get into another Great Depression or whatever.
Right.
But then in other issues, like, you know, mostly medical stuff, yeah, okay, why would the federal government need to tell? If this state doesn't want to have abortions or whatever, they should say, oh, okay, we don't want them. And let that state deal with the repercussions of having a state that doesn't allow that. Like, let's see that, like, let the people go, well, you don't want that, I'm moving out.
Yeah. I agree to a certain extent. I mean, it's the whole debate
look
is
at the weed debate. Like, do you think the Fed should come in and tell Colorado and Washington shut it down?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I don't believe they should, but that I understand the debate between, like, all right, so who decides what is prevalent and safe for everybody or just for the states? Like, what's the important shit? Like, yeah, that's abortion, like, all right, should the federal government step in and say, like, no, you have to let them have it? Or should they step in and say, like, no, you can't let them have it?
And that's usually...
or should they just stay the fuck out of it?
It usually comes down to the judiciary system is the one that, like, ultimately tells the decision. That's why I think we have the 3 branches, is because when this guy wants one way and then this other entity wants the other way, you got to ultimately have a third party that's like, well, I got to be the decider,
right?
And go one or the other.
Of course.
So it ultimately goes to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court goes yay or nay.
Whatever's the most popular, we agree with.
And I guarantee you, eventually we will see a Supreme Court decision based on the legality of marijuana or whatever, and should it be a state-run institution or should it be federally mandated? And it sucks that you have to get the courts involved. Yeah, we can't just be mature adults and say fucking let people do what they want.
Well, hopefully, if the courts are right and then they say, like, yeah, it's okay, then there's really no argument for it anymore. It's like, all right, it's set in stone, we're good to go. We're over that issue.
And as soon as it gets brought up in the Supreme Court, and it does in favor of the states, I guarantee you within 2 years, every state's going towards it. Sure. Especially if Washington and Colorado show a huge increase in fucking revenue. Because that's what every state's about, is money. They don't care about morals or whatever. Like, yeah, they care about it to some extent, but do you think Nevada really cares about gambling addictions and the plight of people getting ruined because they can't?
Yeah, they absolutely do care about it. They care that more people get it so they can make more money.
Or do they care about the sanctity of prostitution or whatever, and how women's bodies are sacred? No, they fucking say if it makes money, we're gonna tax it. Like as it should be. Yeah.
Jinx. Oh wow, I went 80s on you.
But that's the thing. It's crazy, but it's we can move on to other shit.
Yeah, I'm following you, man. We went on such a tangent. I don't even know where we began.
Yeah, I'll bring it back to pussy.
Bring it back. Pussy's always a homing beacon. Let's bring it back.
I was thinking about this, and I was maybe make it into a bit at some point, or who knows. But I've noticed that there's certain words, like dirty words, that I can say amongst friends or whatever, and it has no effect on me whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'll say pussy, stop being a little pussy.
Yeah.
No big deal, or whatever.
Don't even flinch.
But there are the times where
what's up, cunt?
I'm in the presence of a woman, and we're in our, romantic entanglement.
Or at least, okay, yeah.
And there's the love in the air, and we're definitely in a heated embrace with the nude bodies and whatnot. And
I'm sorry, I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
And she's telling me what do you want to do to me or whatever, and you're going I want to fuck that pussy.
That's how you say it?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And you still get the pussy after that?
No, but that's the thing. I can't say dirty words in front of them. I can't be all like that. I'm gonna fuck that pussy, man. Yeah.
You have too much respect for the lady folk.
Yeah, I'm so
even in that situation.
That's the thing. I don't know how to dirty talk, or dude, I always envision myself in doing it, but then when I got those moments too, I'm I blow it. I totally go I'm gonna.
Here's something I don't know if
I'm gonna do this.
You know this by now, but every girl wants to be treated with that utter respect outside of the bedroom.
Yeah.
And as soon as she gets into that bedroom, she wants to be treated like a dirty little.
That's the thing. I can't do it. Like, I can't switch. I can't go from
not every girl,
like being respectful and going like, I love you.
You ain't gotta be like, hey, bitch, get your fucking. You ain't gotta be like aggressive and mean about it, but like, I want to fuck that tight pussy of yours until you're squirting so much.
That's the thing. I can't say it and have it be believable. Like, if I say it, I'm going to be like...
You got to turn the lights off. Turn the lights off so she can't see your face. Because the whole time you're like...
Fuck that pussy.
I like the fuck that pussy. Is that what we're supposed to do?
Yes.
And I'm not sure
how acceptable.
How's this work? Yeah, are you okay with that? Should I get you a menthol?
Because I'm so waiting for them to go like, that's like too far. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, because I don't want to like go like, I'm gonna fuck that dirty pussy, you cunt, or whatever.
Well,
you know, like
why you gotta be all dirty?
That's the thing. Like,
it's gotta be dirty.
I don't know how far to go.
All right, man. Jeez, you gotta get a little aggressive here. Yeah, I can
see. It's like if I go like into the dirty talk, I'm gonna go too far into the dirty talk, and then she's gonna be like, "All right, that's too far." Like, I was just looking for a little like, I'm gonna fuck that pussy, and you told me, "Fuck that pussy, you dirty cunt."
It's a tightrope walk that you seem to not have the balance for. Like, you always lean one far to the left, a little far to the right.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying like, "I want to squeeze my big cock into that tight pussy," you turn it into, "I want to fuck that dirty ass snatch of yours with my disease-ridden cock." You're like, okay, man. Dirty talk is not your forte.
That's the thing. I was like, it's like,
maybe let me just mime shit.
Let me just show you what I'm gonna do to you.
Okay, that was terrible. That was terrible for the radio, but I mocked him. I want to take you and put you against the wall and fuck
you. So that part might be good for the stage. But that's the thing. It's like, you know, and I don't know. That's the thing. You don't know, especially when you first start dating a chick, or at least the first time you're intimate with a woman. You don't know how far to like take it. Like, right. I guess you gotta like just judge like what they're saying. Like, but like I'm almost not into that either. Where like if like she was telling me a lot of explicit stuff too, like I wouldn't be all like into it. Like if she was all like, take that fucking cock and put it in my fucking pussy and all this shit, and you're like, a simple fuck me would be suffice or whatever. Like,
whoa, let's take it back a notch.
Yeah, like I don't need please. Like the three, like I don't need the whole paragraph of like what you need to be doing to me or whatever. Like just tell me like, please have sex with me, or
I don't need to be having to think during this. Right? Yeah. Just turn around, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, believe me, it ain't my first rodeo. I know what to do.
You stick it in the air, I'll put it in it. All right, you don't need to tell me what to do.
Yeah, insert tab A into slot B. I got it.
Slot A, B, or C. I mean, you just choose. I don't know. Your body language will tell me which one you want.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm not opposed to, you know, heavy breathing or like moaning and things.
Can't help that.
Yeah, but the like explicit like constant talking, I almost want to go like, just shut up, please. Like I'm trying to do something here. Well, can't you see I'm working?
I'll admit I've done that before, like the constant talking, but it was because it was like dead silent where we were. There was nothing else.
I can understand.
So
like
it was like
at a certain moment, you know, halfway through, you could be like, "How's this feeling?" or something like that. No, like, I'm you could be like, "Huh?"
Like, I don't know about you, but like, I'm very much into like I like a soundtrack. Right? I don't like it to be au naturel all the time. Like,
I definitely like the music being played for sure.
You know, so when there's nothing going on, like sometimes it's like, okay, either turn on some music or talk dirty or something, because I need something to try and find a rhythm to.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, it's definitely like it's so weird because like I'll say like a lot of times like it's so weird because like the first time could either be really good or really bad. But I guarantee you the second time is going to be the exact opposite of what that first time was. So if it was really good the first time, the second time is going to be eh.
You know
or
what,
if
brother?
it's going to be eh the first time, I guarantee you the second time is going to be way better.
Dude, you could probably run for president on that premise. That shit is the most truth I've heard in one statement in my life.
Because I can't tell you how many times where I've had really awesome sex like the first time, and then the second time I'm like, why am I doing this?
Wow, what happened? What happened here? Did I do that to you?
Yeah, like, oh man, I need to get out of here.
I must have been drunk.
And then a lot of times, like the first time, I was so like just anxious or just in my head or whatever, or just so like, oh my god, this is happening.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what? You like psych yourself out, and you're totally like just either shoot in 6 seconds or.
Right.
You take forever. And you're just
right.
like limp or something, and she's like, "Are you not into me?" And you're like, "No, I'm into you.
I'm too into you."
It's just I'm so crazy. This is
can't
crazy
believe
that
this
this
is
is happening. Yeah, it's like I'm too in my head.
Yeah,
And then the second time, obviously, you get over that, and you're like, okay, this girl obviously wants to have sex with me not once but twice. I'm obviously doing something right.
I
Yeah.
should be in golden here.
Yeah. And that's obviously way better. And you're just like, oh man, like, does it have to be so fluctuating like
See,
all the time?
I've had it be too where it's like, you know, the first time where like things like same exact scenario, but instead of like the first time we went and like the sex just wasn't that good. Not because like I did anything, but just like, you know, just
Something wasn't clicking.
She wasn't getting the rhythm, or like I wasn't
Yeah.
finding her rhythm. Everything was working properly. But just like the rhythm wasn't there, the situation wasn't right. It just felt awkward or whatever.
Right.
But the things were done.
She wasn't saying "fuck that pussy."
Yeah, yeah. She was being real sweet and like just saying "fuck that twat."
Could
I
you
wanted her to say pussy.
Can you please insert your phallus into my vagine?
No, that sounds dirty. I don't know if I can handle that. That'd be creepy. But then I've also had where it's like, you know, the first time was amazing. You're like, wow,
Yeah,
that was awesome, spontaneous, crazy, exciting. And then the second time you're like, is this the same pussy
Yeah.
that I had before?
Yeah, right.
I think it may have spoiled over. You left it out in the sun too long or something.
Yeah, I think the lights are on or something. There's got to be a reason why I'm not into this.
It's never happened to me, but I know it's happened both ways.
Right. And that's the thing too, is like going back to like the dirty talk, like I've never been like the times I've told women like, you know what you should do? You should suck my dick. That's never gotten my dick
I
sucked.
think my response is probably the same response.
You responded a lot the same exact way that every single woman did.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a little too like you can get that to happen. You just can't be direct about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So like when it comes to dirty talk and you're actually involved with the girl and you're about to do all the things that you have been wanting to do, even then, like when I probably could say like you should suck my dick, I can't, because it's like I've been so trained that like if you say this, she's gonna fucking do the exact opposite.
And you say those words and you get the
Yeah,
break.
she suddenly puts her clothes back on, and you're like,
game over.
What? Like really? You
not pass go. Do
like,
not get laid.
Like, and that's like, so I've always like thought like to myself like, if I am gonna get a blowjob or whatever, it's just gonna be because she like starts unzipping my pants and starts doing it.
She's gonna instigate it.
It's not gonna be because I said, "Hey, why don't you suck this dick?" or whatever. It's not gonna be because I put it in her head. Like,
right.
It's gonna be
that's
she
what
wanted to do it.
Put it in her head.
That's but it's so weird that like, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just with the wrong chicks.
I don't know,
because
man.
like I guarantee you, whoever's listening to this, if they are female, they're gonna ultimately go like, what? I would never do that. Like, if I was into a guy, he could tell me whatever I wanted.
If there's any females out there or guys that know females that would like to respond, hit us up at Smitty and D at yahoo.com.
Yes.
And we'd love to hear some
you would be obliged
responses.
to sucking my dick if I told you to.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right. If you'll suck my dick while I take a shit, come on now. Let's do it. Come on. I want my first Plumpkin story.
But that's the thing. I've told this to a couple women, and they've been kind of like scared.
Not suck my dick. Ah!
Yeah, so you just whip it out. You just.
Excuse me while I'll whip this out.
But
oh my god, that was hilarious.
But no, I'm just saying, like the times like I've hit up women.
Yeah.
Certain times, like they think to themselves, like, okay, like I can tell them, like at first, like you can kind of be upfront, or you can obviously talk about small things about your sex life, like, you know, maybe on a first date you could bring up, like, okay, how many people have you slept with, or whatever.
Don't ever do that, but yeah.
But I mean, I guess
but
I don't know. Like,
that's the time if you're gonna do it, that's the time to do it.
But that's the thing. Like, I've talked to a few women about this, and they said, like, oh, I would love a guy to do this, but then I'm like, but if you really had a dude that like that did that, I don't think you would. Like, I think you're just humoring me.
Yeah.
Because like I've always said, like, it sucks that like sex is such a huge important thing in a relationship, but you never find out like what they're really into until like 8 or a year or however long down the road, when I want to find it out like all out the first date. Like, you can't just go up to a girl and go like, all right, what are you into? You want some feet? You like the shower? You want some chocolate on your titties? What do you want?
Did you say you want some feet? Like, what does that mean?
Like a foot fetish or whatever.
Okay,
like,
I was like, foot long?
Yeah, you want like a foot in
but...
your pussy or what?
Wow, okay, yeah, all right.
Like, you know, whatever it is. Like,
all right, just
tell
get it
me
out now.
Like, yeah, like, because I don't want to find out like 8 months from now that you're into like cross-dressing, or that you want to like fucking put on like a furry suit. You know, just tell me now.
I mean,
that's the thing.
I like Mickey Mouse. I don't want to fuck him, all right?
But you can't, like, on a first date, it's all about just the stupid, like, bullshit of, like, so what movies do you like?
Yeah.
Where'd you go to school?
It's all, total...
Like, stuff that you're like, bullshit. I don't give a shit. Like, tell me where you went to school 8 months from now.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're into, sex-wise now.
Yeah, but here's the bad thing. Is like, you always get those girls, too, like, yeah, I'm the girl. Like, I do this with that guy.
Right. Like, I'm totally into kinky shit, blah, blah, blah.
I like to, if I get a guy's cock in my mouth,
I love sucking dick.
Suck his dick all night long. I'll just watch TV while sucking his dick. That's what I do. And then you start going out with her. Like, 6 months down the road, you're like, hey, man, she was talking about that when we were going out. Yeah. Now we're getting kind of, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get this going. And nothing ever happens.
Well, we'll take a small break and come back.
You should have said nothing. We could have did it all like stealthy style. All right, 3, 2, 1, break it. Welcome back to the After Dark.
Yeah,
we're talking about
After Dark.
And as with all of our stories, the homie beacon is pussy.
Pussy.
Where were we talking? I don't know how long ago we were talking about pussy.
Yeah.
But the homie beacon brings it back.
The episode doesn't seem like there was a break, but there was a break.
Oh, yeah, there was no break there. It was the imaginary, mystical, magical radio break. Anyways, let's continue like nothing happened.
Well, I guess we could talk about other things.
What's our next topic? What's our next potty training a dog is fucking pain in the ass?
Yeah, it is.
It's okay when he's sleeping right now. He looks good, but...
As you guys may know, Smitty recently got a puppy.
Yeah, golden retriever puppy.
He's a good dog, but he's
good,
definitely, like most young things, are a lot of work.
Yes. And a lot of fucking money, man. I went to the vet. That shit. I went to one vet, right, and they wanted me to pay like for the shots and the worms and all,
right,
and all the stuff, the getting him neutered.
Yeah.
All that stuff. They wanted me to pay it up front in one lump sum.
Yeah.
Right? They wanted me to pay $500.
Here's me being kind of like, an evolutionist met with, like, I don't know, alcohol and weed. But, like, I'm always thinking to myself, like, how did dogs get to this level or even in existence now if they need all these shots and they need all these things to keep them alive? And I was thinking, like, did they need any of this shit 100 years ago? Fuck no.
Well, here you go, though. A lot of these dogs...
But how come every dog needs it now?
Well, I'll tell you right now, a lot of these dogs didn't exist 100 years ago.
That's the thing. It's the selective breeding and, like, creating all these, you know, teacup poodles and shit that are causing all these, like, crazy diseases to come around.
You gotta go on Netflix, and there's a couple of these documentaries about, like, life, like, something about life with dogs and science of dogs.
Yeah.
One's about, like, basically...
One has Neil deGrasse Tyson on it.
I don't know about that, but one of them talks about, like, where dogs basically came from, like how we've bred them for certain things. We want them for this, we want them from that.
I saw that one. They said really 8 generations of wolves, and then we had a domesticated dog. Like, only 8 generations.
Yeah, and they talk about how quickly they'll change. Like, within, like, 30, 40 years, you can have a whole different race.
Yeah, they were showing that, like, where... even breed, like within like a human's lifespan, you can see
genetically change it.
Yeah, genetically huge chain where if you just take, you know, the smallest dog out of every litter and breed it with another smallest dog, eventually you're gonna get a teacup poodle.
Well, you look at it like this: the dog, like this dog here, his dad was a golden retriever. I want to say British Spaniel, I think that's what she said, or Brittany Spaniel. I don't know dogs that great.
Right.
But they bred them with that because golden retrievers are known to have bad hips.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Hip dysplasia.
But spaniels are known for having really strong hips.
Mm-hmm.
So they bred them together to give them the stronger hips, but still give him the mindset of a retriever. And so, like, this dog...
But that's the thing, like, I can understand if we had the ability to take specific genes from the genome and literally give the dog better hips or whatever. But here's my thing is, how is just breeding the two suddenly going to have, like, okay, only the good things from this dog come from here, and only the good things, like, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying... I'm amazed.
Here's what they do is they breed them like that. They have a litter, 8, 9, or whatever.
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them come out that way.
So not all of them.
This is just my guess.
Right.
Dude, we have been drinking the same amount. Do you think I have a scientific knowledge right now, man?
Bring up the documents. I want to see the abstract.
I want your facts, man.
Yep. I want to read the abstract about how this. Where was this published?
On Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix is obviously, wouldn't steer you wrong.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, like, so these dogs are not really natural. Just like domesticated cats, they're really not. They're not natural.
Yeah,
they're bred. They're not like their cousins. Like, there's a whole science between a dog, like, I guess, like, their closest relative is like the wolf or a variation of the wolf.
Yeah,
and they are nothing like dogs.
Yeah,
like
would you ever own a wolf?
No, you watch.
You can own them.
I watch them try to train them, and they're not like dogs. They don't have that same personable.
Yeah,
dogs can read people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm looking, like obviously mine probably won't fucking do shit for me right now.
An adult dog.
Dog who's been well trained and whatnot can, like, if I'm looking at a certain object, we'll go to that object instead of the other. Like, I can put 2 bowls of food, exact same food.
Yeah,
and I can get him just by my facial expressions to go to one. The wolf won't even look me in the eye. Even a wolf that you've been training since day one, they just don't have. They're just not.
I think
their brains aren't
it's
the same
interdependency issue. It's the fact that dogs are bred to depend on the human's guidance, when wolves don't need that human to guide them.
They grow to either rely on themselves or
the pack.
The pack mentality, and the pack mentality is not the same mentality as a human animal contact.
The interdependency of a domesticated dog is definitely... Why do they say it's man's best friend? It's basically because, it needs to be best friends with it, because that's the only friend that's going to feed him and let him, survive. Like, if he's not friends with human, he's dead.
Yeah, because that's a good question. I want to know, I want to know how we get so many dogs out there on the street. I guess maybe they're all sick. They could be, but like because I know my pup. They said almost every dog gets worms from mom.
Yeah,
just naturally. It's just like every puppy is gonna have worms and parasites. Right. It's just can't get away from it.
Right.
So like, but same thing with humans. So like, how the fuck did we come? Like, we have to have it. So like, which came
I think
first,
it is because of the, like you said, it's the breeding over time with the same environment. Where if we start giving vaccinations for the next 8 generations. Yeah, of course, that 9th generation is going to need those vaccines because we've already given it to the other 8 before it. So it starts to be like born with those things like, okay, I'm going to need this coming out of the womb because every generation before me for a long time has needed those things too.
So I guess like with dogs, it would be just one in, I don't know, a very few of them would actually just barely make it through because of without the worms didn't kill them. They'd make it through or whatever.
Right. But now,
this dog, he had the runs the first like 2 weeks of his life. So like, that shit was not fun. I can't imagine like, okay, what if that shit never went away? Those poor fucking dogs just get dehydrated and shit. You can't do that on your own.
The whole survival of the fittest comes from, where only the healthiest and the most fit things live on to the next life.
But that like. That's not human nature. Human nature isn't survival of the fittest.
No.
It's survival of the smartest.
And survival of like who has the most not like capitalistic wise, but I'm saying like who has the most medical advantage. Who gets the prenatal care, who does get the like there's so many women now that that are having babies that without science, they wouldn't be having babies or whatever, So,
True.
like, there's so many things
Where'd
that
that
now
go
that
from
like
dogs?
medical science will bring. Same with dogs too. Like all these things that we have medically that are like letting these dogs survive. 50 years ago, those dogs wouldn't be around.
Yeah, that's true. Or they had different ways of dealing with it. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna go off the topic of dogs here for a little bit. But do you ever get a tapeworm?
I've never had one, but I've heard of them.
I've never had one, but I heard like, have you heard about how?
I guess I could have one inside me right now.
Right. I've heard that you find them like in your shit or like it'll be in your poo and you gotta grab it and pull it out.
Yeah, I've heard straight up like sometimes you have to take a pill that makes it like dislodge from your intestines, and then it just you literally shit it out, and when you like have it plop into the toilet, it'll be like flopping around.
Are you shitting
and,
me?
Like actually like moving and stuff.
Would
and, like
freak the fuck out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a flopping fucking worm come out my ass.
And I guess they say the way you can tell that you have one is that you just become like not constipated, but like you eat and then you never shit, but you still don't feel full. Because the tapeworm is taking like what's in your intestines and basically digesting it for you, but then keeping it in your body. So your body thinks it's like out of you.
So as long as I'm shitting, I'm good.
Yeah, as long as you keep shitting, you're all right. You don't have a tapeworm.
Thank God I'm shitting fine.
But if you feel like you're eating a lot of food and you don't remember the last time you took a shit and you don't feel hungry and you keep eating, chances are you have a fucking tapeworm in your body. And you need to take some pills from your doctor and get that shit out.
How do you get that shit?
It literally, I don't know. It's a parasite. Obviously, it's something that you've eaten or something that's gotten into your body.
Oh, God, that's so gross.
And you know that there's so many bacteria, though.
Why are those bacteria? We are filled with bacteria. I know that.
We have a huge symbiotic relationship.
But a lot of them are working good for us.
Very true. And a lot of them you have to have in your body,
fucking
just like evolution brings up. Because whatever happened, suddenly the only people that were living were the people that had this shit in them.
Yeah, this bacteria was saving us from whatever that shit was.
And that's where you go, yeah, it's cool that we have like all these cells and stuff, but they say that like there's just as many bacteria living in you as there are cells in you. Like, so are you really you? On a philosophical, like, external level, like, molecular-wise, like, we are just as much bacteria.
About external level, not like... Because you is really what your consciousness and your mind makes up, like not your physical body. But are you talking about that? Like, are you're
like,
physically?
What are you made up of? Like, you are made up of just as much bacteria as you are cells.
I was always told I was made of piss and vinegar.
What kind of bacteria is that?
Nasty ones, I guess. Ones that stink. That's for sure.
I think everything though is symbiotic in some level, where you need. It's like the food chain itself is like a symbiotic relationship, where you need to eat something that's already been living in order to keep living for yourself.
I am taking that living essence from that thing.
Yeah, you're literally like plants, animals, all of it. You're like literally taking whatever that thing was made of and going, oh, that's going to keep me living.
There was some study going around a while back that's saying that they proved, and I don't know how the fuck you could prove this, but that plants can feel pain.
I almost spit out my beer. That was so funny.
Like there's something like you can record it. You can. Be like,
they don't have a nervous system. They don't have anything. They have veins that are like for chlorophyll and borophyll.
How do you know those don't feel?
Fuck that. There's no nervous. Show me a nervous system. Show me a system that's complex as a human body or a fucking mammal that comprises
okay,
of.
Like 20 minutes ago, you're like, yeah, there could be a total like ghost sitting right next to us because we just can't see it yet. But I tell you this story, fuck that, man, that's bullshit. I don't believe it. I can't see it. I don't buy it.
I'm not saying they're not living by any means, but to say they feel pain is a completely different subject.
I'm not saying it. I'm saying some random study I heard. I don't know if I buy it, but I do buy that.
Yeah, was it from PETA or was it from?
I buy it in the sense that it is. We do know that they are living.
Sure.
You know, because they are obviously a living organism. So,
yeah.
What's to say? Maybe not the same kind of pain that you and I feel.
Right.
But who's to say that they don't have some sort of
like they wish they weren't dead? Yeah, I'm sure they do that.
Yeah, maybe. I wasn't thinking like there's fucking conscious like, I'm so happy to be living right here under this roof. Like, I don't think there.
That's the thing. I think you need a consciousness before you feel pain. Like, I don't.
Do you? Like, here's the question: does a worm have consciousness?
Does it feel pain? I doubt it.
I don't know. I guess you can cut it in half and just grows it into your worm. So.
Like I don't think if it had a mouth, it would be like yelling when you put it on a hook right before it like tossed it in the lake or whatever. Like, I think certain things. That's the thing. It's almost like.
Do you think the bacteria? I almost wish. Pain?
I think pain is almost.
What if pain is just bacterial?
A safety feature where it's like.
Yeah. It tells us, hey, don't do that. That hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Like it keeps you out of danger. Like,
of course.
But. You know, maybe to a plant, there is no danger, or there is no like, there's no concept of like, fear or pain or any of that. It's like that. That's kind of sounds awesome.
Do you like this the smell of freshly cut grass?
Right.
That's the smell of fucking genocide.
Yeah, that's the smell of death in the morning.
That's a massacre.
Yeah.
You love the smell of plant blood.
Well, I'll like that one movie. What was it?
But then again, look at this
M. Night Shyamalan movie where like the plants were the ones that like killed us all.
Happening.
Yeah, that turned us all against each other and shit, and made us just die.
All right. I know you're gonna.
That could be cool.
Oh, that's where you're going with that?
Well, I mean, that would be the planet's last laugh, even though they don't have any thing to laugh with.
There's already some plants out there that are like fucking deadly to us. There's that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's like poison ivy and shit. Obviously not deadly, but definitely not fun.
Plants got some range. Like,
fuck yeah, man.
They go from like the craziest, coolest like thing to like the most deadliest, foul-smelling, putrid thing on the earth.
There's one that smells like a rotting corpse, like once a year. Like that's what it's known for. Yeah, that shit's nuts. But there's one that just look at the Venus flytrap. That shit eats fucking insects.
Mm-hmm.
A plant
digests
eating
animals,
and that's what I'm saying. That shit doesn't feel.
Well, maybe in time.
Like if I cut if I could like where it closes, and I just like to put a slice in it right here, would it just be like, that's cool, bro? That's cool. I'll just mend it. Or to be like, you cut my fucking jaw open. No, I'm gonna die.
I think it is more of like a ship, or more of like a.
Sorry for screaming so loud.
Like some sort of like
Barry White over here, quiet,
it's
and then
almost
get crazy
probably
Jerry
like
Lewis on it.
On like the same side as like a white blood cell or something, or some sort of like internal organ where it might feel like, obviously it doesn't have the nervous system and shit, but it does like just know when to fix itself. It just like gets like an alert, or it says like, hey, over here it needs this, and then it just gives it to her.
Right.
So it's like if it ever like ran into an element where, like, say a plant, some animal,
but how do you know
like,
that signal doesn't
off.
come across as pain to the plant? That signal
we'll never know.
That's what I'm saying. We'll never know, but you can't be like, bullshit.
I guess I can't be.
I'll be like,
you've proved me wrong.
He's never. I can't hear it scream. I don't know. I'm still gonna eat that motherfucking carrot.
Yep.
But he might be screaming, but I still eat a cow, and I know that shit feels pain. I know that shit feels pain.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Okay, let's say we find out that they do. Would that stop us eating anything?
That's what I'm saying. What
Nothing.
the fuck are we gonna eat?
It wouldn't stop us in the slightest.
Are we just, we're gonna eat soil?
I mean,
and then we find out soil.
We kill humans pretty easily, and we know they feel pain. So, and we don't even eat them. They're not even like,
we just put them in the
ground. We just
kill
them to just kill them. Like, see, we give plants more respect, even though they don't feel pain. Like, we at least eat them.
We at least put them in the circle of life.
Yeah, we at least find something good for it. We don't just put them in the ground. Have you thought about going like vegetarian ever?
Never.
Or, like,
dude, I fucking hate veggies. I can't go vegetarian. You know what I need to do? There was the one time.
Have you ever? Would you ever try something like that you don't like? Like if someone made it for you. Like if you went to like some girl's house that you were really into, and she just made you like name 5 vegetables that you hate.
You name 5 vegetables and I hate them.
Like carrots.
Yes.
Broccoli.
I hate them. Cauliflower.
Corn.
Hate it. Okay, lie. I like that corn. But corn has nothing to. Corn is like the worst vegetable for you.
It is true.
What about why I like it?
Asparagus or artichoke?
Nope. Now here's
green beans or anything.
I don't care for green beans, but smothered in fucking some cheese and I can handle it.
Yeah. Well, okay. But if she was really into you and she made you all that, you'd be like, "Oh, cool, this is great."
Well, I don't know if I'd say this is great, but I'd be like, "Here, I'm going to try it." But I'd be on. I'm more of an honest kind of like, I'm a picky eater. I'm going to tell you, nah, that's not my style. But I'm willing to try it because I have been pleasantly surprised before
from certain things that you did,
from certain people cook things certain ways and prepare it certain ways where you're like, well, shit, I never cared for I never thought I liked sweet potatoes.
Right.
I was never a big fan. And then the way my mom cooks them, like she started making them not too long ago, like that's fucking good.
Yeah.
They're sweet, they're really good. Like it's just I don't really like fish. I don't like salmon. I don't like fishy fish.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I went to Casey's dad's place, The Hobbit, who is one of the, like a world famous,
5-star,
an amazing chef, and he made a salmon part of the meal that we went to, and that shit was sublime. Like it melted in my mouth, and I was like, I cannot believe I just ate fish.
This is salmon.
I was like, are you fucking
what?
You're lying to me, right?
Yeah.
Am I
this ain't
pranked?
salmon.
Because this shit tastes too good to be fish. This shit was not swimming in the sea. But yeah,
that's
so
what I
have been pleasantly surprised. So I'm willing to try.
I always say that, like, the only reason for a large majority of the reason why people don't like things, and this is just my opinion, is because they had the first couple of times they had it was just prepared really shitty. They just got it from somebody that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah. Like I'm not a sushi guy, and I've had good sushi before.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also means because I've had good sushi.
Yeah.
Means like I know I don't like 90% of the places I'm going to. It's like I'll only eat it there.
Too. There's bad anything. I mean, how many times have you had a bad steak? I love fucking steak, but
steak is my favorite meal. But yeah,
steaks.
there's steaks where you're just like you definitely eat it. You're like,
you're like,
that's not what I was hoping for.
Yeah, this is kind of dry. or it's definitely like needs to be on the grill a little bit. Like,
yeah.
Either way, you're like,
Well, that's a lot of fat for a piece of meat.
But that's the thing. Like, I've had steaks plenty of times that were horrible, but I've never went.
But
well, that's the last time I'm having steak ever.
I keep going back for that gym because you know it's coming. Because you're like, oh, the one that comes in, that's so good. Yeah. You're like, I could live for another few years just with that memory of that steak.
But I know so many people that like eat like potatoes au gratin or whatever once, and they're like, well, that was it once, and I'm done. You're like, but if it was a steak, you would have like tried it 8 more times.
Yeah, there's a lot of picky. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It stems from my childhood. I was a very picky eater, you know.
So yeah. Like I always say that, like, as a kid, like, you literally have different taste buds. Like, you can't taste certain things. So when you get those tastes in your mouth, it's just icky. It's just foreign. Like, you don't even have the taste buds to enjoy it. So, like, to want to eat those things, you're like, well, of course they're not going to like it. They don't even have a palate to like it. But then that's the hard part is that experience gets ingrained in your head, and you don't want to try it again because obviously you hated it before.
Right.
You're like, well, why would I want to eat that? Like, I already don't like it. But then you have to say, no, but your tongue now can like it because it's growing adult taste buds that actually are receptors to have that.
Talk on this line of thing. Like, there are some foods where they say it's an acquired taste, right?
Right.
Like, you have to eat it a bunch of times.
Like calamari or whatever.
You have to eat it a bunch of times before you actually start to get an appreciation for it.
Most alcohol's that way, or beer or whatever.
But does that make it good? Or does that just mean, like, no, you're getting yourself used to the taste of shit?
Well, I know for a fact that, like, there's tons of stuff, like bell peppers, for one. When I was a kid, I fucking hated bell peppers. My mom used to make stuffed bell peppers, those big green ones or whatever.
We got bell peppers in here. We're about to do the same thing.
Right. And when I was a kid, I would eat just the stuffing and leave the bell pepper totally, like, raw or whatever. And now, like, I have them now. I'll eat the whole thing. Like, I enjoy now a bell pepper because I don't know. I just, as an adult, I enjoy it, but when I was a kid, I hated it.
But see, the same thing I can be said is, like, as a kid, I did enjoy some things. Like, I did enjoy asparagus when I was a kid.
Right.
Now I hate it.
Weird. Well, maybe
it went the other way.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, like you said, taste buds, where it's like, I don't think it's necessarily like any set fast rule. It's like, whatever you like as a kid, your taste buds do change.
Yeah.
But it's not a steadfast rule like, oh, you're only going to like these things as a kid and you're only going to like these things as an adult.
Right.
I think it's just kind of like individual where, like, you know, this kid fucking maybe hates ice cream as a kid, but fucking when he gets an adult, ice cream he turns into a fucking good humor man.
Yeah, my brother used to always tell me when he was a kid that he was allergic to milk and that he couldn't have milk. But he would eat ice cream and cheese like no other. And I'd be like, you know that is made with milk, right? And he's like, he just didn't like raw milk.
He just didn't like the taste of it.
Yeah. But he would like everything that's milk's made out of.
Yeah. When it's mixed with sweeteners, yeah, it's good. But when it's by itself, no, I don't want that shit.
Yeah, I don't want to drink a glass of milk, but I'll have some cheese or some ice cream.
Yeah, give me something good.
But that's the thing. Like, it's so weird that even with food allergies, I've heard that, like, throughout time, you can have your food allergies change. So, like, when you were a kid, you could be allergic to peanuts. But as an adult, you're not allergic to peanuts. But here's the catch. Like, when you're an allergy, like, I have an allergy towards melon.
Yeah.
Like, watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe, all that shit is, like, when I was a kid, I just break out and, like, I just look like a fucking cherry.
Nice.
And just be all itchy everywhere.
Oh, that sucks.
And so, obviously, I never ate it. But I could be not allergic to melon anymore. But I ain't going to try it. Like, I'm not going to risk that. Like why would I? I've gotten through so much of my life of, like, I don't need it. Like, yeah, people say it's good, but I've not gone with eating it so long. Even if I didn't have my allergy, I don't even think I would eat it anyway.
But there you go. So, like, you kind of close your mind off. Like, what if you did find out you didn't have the allergy, would you be like,
I guess I would
I'm trying it all.
Yeah. If I got, like, an allergy test
and you'd
or whatever.
be like, this shit wasn't that good to begin with.
But what would be the weird part is,
but now
that,
I'm not allergic to it. I just don't like it.
As soon as I find out that I'm not, like, I only eat that now, it's like, man, D, hold off on the watermelon. Like,
finally buying stock in watermelon.
Everything I order, it's like, can I have some melon with it too? Does it come with melon? I need to catch up for the years that I haven't had melon.
I want a steak with some watermelon on top, please.
Yeah, and a side of honeydew, and maybe make it a cantaloupe too.
Do you guys do melon salads?
Yeah, but that's
I'm a little melancholy.
But here's where I wish I just was, because like I just hate the fact that like there are those so many times where I have to like ask like when people make fruit salad and stuff, it's always like, does it have melon in it? Oh, I can't have it.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be able to just go fruit salad, cool, and eat it. Like I don't want to have to always go like, does it have this? Does it have that? Like that's me being lazy.
No, I hear you though, man, because I'm with that. Cause I'm one of those weird guys. Like your brother doesn't like milk. Hold on a second. Can we pause for a second?
Yes, we'll take a small break.
Okay, so your brother doesn't like milk, but he likes all the stuff that made with milk, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like. I like salad.
Yeah.
I enjoy salad, but I don't like lettuce on my tacos. I don't like lettuce on my hamburgers.
So you just don't want lettuce as a feature.
Yeah, I like it as the main player and like the only player with like some some salad dressing and some like other
but
stuff.
I think that's the thing. You're eating it with the dressing on it. So it's more the dressing flavor instead of the salad.
I'm not eating plain salad. Plain salad is just like fucking eating dirt. I might as well just put grass in my mouth. But you put a little bit of sweetened sauce on it,
you drench it in some sort of
Thousand Island, where it's just it's basically Thousand Island with sprinkled lettuce in there.
Yeah. So if you just like put like secret sauce or some sort of sauce on the burger, you're like, okay, cool, lettuce is all right.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not like I'll eat it, and it doesn't make me go like, oh, this is terrible. I just don't like it mixing with other things.
Right.
I know it's weird, but it's just it's a way it blends in the mouth. That sounds gross.
Hold your mic a little differently.
Well, I was trying to go gangster on it. Like,
there you go.
Like you go gangster with your gun.
Yeah, that might be cool for guns, but it doesn't really pick up the voice very well. But we could talk about something else besides food or whatnot. I don't know.
I don't say. Did you have something in mind? Because
no, I've just been obviously just got a lot of other crap.
Yeah. So how's the apartment hunt going?
It's going all right. I mean, things definitely didn't work out as originally planned, but obviously most things never end up as originally planned.
I'll tell you what. Sometimes they don't work out for a reason. It might be.
Yeah.
It might turn out better in the long run.
I guess that's what they say is like fate or destiny or whatever, is like, even though like, the road is definitely hard driven, the end game might be, that much more beneficial in the long,
Yeah.
So it's
if
like,
you've learned anything from Tenacious D, the road is fucking hard, man.
Yeah.
The road is fucking tough.
But I mean, I will say that like I'm not hopeful for my situation. It just is, you always wish it could have gone a little easier.
Oh, of course. I mean, where's my 3-story studio that's only going to cost me $200 a month?
Yeah.
Where's that at? Like in the middle of like the nicest neighborhood in Southern California. Where is that?
After like finding like the 8th millionth like scam on Craigslist, you just want, and it's always the same rap where it's like, oh, please live in my house. I had to go away on business, but I'll just give it to you for a song and not expect anything for it. Like, oh yeah, houses that are going, that are legit, that are going up for rent right next to me are going for $3,000. I'll let you live there for $600. And you're like, wait a minute, with utilities included and a pool? Come on now.
Like really? I believe me. I want to believe it.
Yeah, but you're just like, I write them back like, change your rap, bro. This scam was long gone. Like, this might have worked 10 years ago, but it ain't working now. Like,
well, it must be because people still fall for that shit. They got to.
It has to be from people that are out of the country because, you know, they're watching Miami Vice and Three's Companies like it's like, you know, shit that's still on the television in America. But, you know, they're behind.
Yeah, they're like
10 years behind.
You like the Jack Tripper? I'm a Jack Tripper. I'm not. I pretend to be gay. I'm not gay.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, you know, Miami Vice. Yeah.
Shoot 'em up, bang bang. Let's do it. I like it.
It's hammer time.
Yeah, I got parachute pants. They in style now. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're assuming that, like,
cost me $500.
Well,
I don't know why I got the most racist accent, I guess.
They're like, well, if the parachute pants are still in style, then maybe this scam is still in style. You know, this is just on the market, and you're like, dude, we already knew about that 10 years ago.
Man, that Nigerian prince is still asking like to put some of his money, and that shit still works on people.
Yeah, and here's the like biggest like red flag too that they like are. You're like, dude, are you that stupid? Who's really falling for this shit? Is the just send me the deposit and I'll give you the keys, but don't worry about wanting to see the actual place beforehand.
Yeah, just recently we had a scam going on. Like, we have property in New Mexico, and some guy was trying to say he wanted it from us.
Yeah,
but he said like, we'll give you $15,000 for it. But you just need to send a money order for this amount for us to get the paperwork sent through. But you don't have to send the money order. You just have to send the PIN number on the money order. So you know we can't get it. But like with the PIN number, you can take the money.
Yeah,
you know, like they didn't say that part. Like you don't have to send the whole money order. You just gotta send the PIN. Just
what
tell
a
us.
Dumbass.
Yeah, they totally tried it against us, and you're like, obviously we're smart enough to go like, yeah, you're full of shit. First of all, if you want to pay me $15,000. Just go ahead and knock the whatever fee you want out of that $15,000 and send it to me.
Yeah,
just take it out of that $15,000.
Yeah.
Like, why would I need to send you money to get money? You have it in your possession. Just take it out of that. I give you permission.
Yeah, it's such a dumbass. Like, that's the thing I never understood is like with people is like, where do you get in your life where you've decided to yourself, I'm gonna try to swindle this guy out of some money. Like, I don't want to just work a job where I make a wage or whatever. You know, like, I'm now deciding to myself, I'm gonna create an elaborate scheme to dupe this guy out of some cash. And I would actually prefer it being a grifter type of like situation where, like, you know, I've seen all these, like, you know, The Sting and all these types of movies where, you know, you get flim-flammed, and I'm all for that.
Awesome.
Like, if you literally just, like, convincingly, because this guy's rap is so good that you just go like, it's foolproof. I just need to give this guy some money.
Yeah.
And I'm golden.
All my problems will be fixed.
Yeah. Then, like, I'm all for that. But, like, when it's simply a dude that's like, I got a house for rent. Give me some money.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, man. Change your rap up a little bit.
Put a little song and dance to it, please.
Give me
pizzazz to this. This is stale.
At least put a few maneuvers in it.
Show me some respect and try to take my money properly.
Yeah, and I want at least a wheelman and a guy that knows how to, like, open a safe that, like, is on your team or whatever.
I want your shit to be Ocean's 11 if you're gonna try and rob me, man. This nickel and dime. Hey, give me money.
Exactly.
Ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. But if it's 11 dudes trying to, like, take $50 from me,
11 dudes,
I'm all for it.
11 dudes that could be, like, and 2 of them could be models.
Yeah.
I might buy it.
Yeah.
I'll accept one small Asian dude.
Yeah. I will definitely say, you know what? They deserve my money.
Yeah, okay, you can have my money.
That was entertainment.
That's a difficult crew to get together.
Yeah.
And you got it together, and you said more than just take my money.
There were a lot of cogs in that works.
Yeah.
And it all came together to ring that bell.
Like, sweet, man, that worked. Here's your $10 because that's all I got.
Yep. I actually caught on halfway, but I was so involved with your
I was
scam,
impressed.
I let you do it anyway.
I knew you were going to be disappointed when you opened that vault and saw fucking mothballs, but dude, I wanted to see how you were going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I admire your gumption.
I like the cut of your jib. Oh, boy.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I watch those like MSNBC like scams and shit like that, where like every scam involves a 65-year-old woman, like, and a telephone. I swear, like, there are people just randomly calling up the phone book, just picking a number at random and going like, "Hey, Mrs. Thompson, have you ever heard of Green Bay life insurance for your pets and animals?"
But here's my thing: is I was like, I understand like back 25 years ago or something, because 65 grandma at that time, a lot of that shit was almost new.
Yeah,
right. But like, okay, grandma these days fucking almost invented that shit.
No shit.
So like, how you like? I don't understand. Like, I do see it. Like, there's 65-year-old women that like act like they're from the 10s, and you're like, man, you're not. I mean, 60s,
you're not that old.
You're not that old. You're like from the 50s, 60s, man.
You should know what a phone scam is because you've been around since the phone's been invented.
Yeah, I mean, you've known a lot of friends that lost money to fucking scams. You've watched enough news stories to see all these scams.
Yeah.
You should be well up on, like, I'm not just going to give my shit out to anybody.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so it always confuses me as to who are these little old ladies or 65-year-old women who pretend to be 165? Like, why are you pretending to be so blind to the scenario? Like, you just pretend. Why don't you, instead of pretending to be that, pretend to know what shit's going down?
Right. It's like, I guarantee you there's some 65-year-old women out there, or men, that are still like, what is this internet I hear about so much?
It's a series of tubes.
And you're like, dude, I guarantee, like, the internet's been around for the last 20 years. So, believe me, you should know about the internet already.
Yeah,
like,
come on, man. This is not news here. This is not brand. Like, come on.
Like,
come on, pick up the game.
Like, my grandparents were using a word processor that was like an Apple II or whatever. So, if they were using an Apple II or whatever, they should already know what the fucking internet is.
Yeah, and
they're the ones that invented it.
I give your grandpa credit though. Like, he was using the internet for his work, like because he's an artist and he was using it for. I'm impressed by that.
Website
like,
and all that.
That's what I'm saying. So like, obviously, it's not like this foreign thing anymore. So I always get surprised by like who's still falling for that shit. I guess like you said, if you put the right song and dance to it, maybe. But who's falling for the simple things anymore? I
don't know, and I just think like no matter how complex it is, like it's still something I've heard before.
Yeah.
Like no matter what scam I run into, it just seems like I've seen that for a while. Like, why are you still even using that scam? Like,
that's old.
Yeah, old scam. Come on, man.
Try bring something new to the table, please.
Exactly. But that's the thing. I don't know. Like, obviously, the people that are running scams aren't the brightest tools in the shed.
Right.
So,
brightest. Yeah.
Because if they were...
I prefer sharp tools in my shed.
Right?
They don't necessarily need to be bright, but that's all right.
I like to polish my toys. I like to get them really shiny. Don't even look like they're used.
That was just like a Biff, like a screen door on a battleship. Man, it's submarine.
I did it on purpose.
Sure you did. Sure you did.
It was obviously because of comedic effect.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, obviously they're not, like, smart people because obviously smart people don't need to scam people for money. They actually just, like, make jobs. Like, they just have real things to do, like, with their lives. They don't have to, like, try to dupe people for their wares or whatever. Like,
for sure.
You don't think, like, Bill Gates is like, I wonder how I could scam some old ladies out of some money.
Yeah.
He was busy like, I'll just make a computer.
No. He actually was thinking that. How can I scam that money? How about make Windows 8 and it be fucking terrible so everybody wants to buy Windows 7 again?
Not just women, and not just 65-year-old women, but everyone in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess that he is, I guess, the biggest scam artist around.
He's a genius. I wish I could be adopted by Bill Gates. I know I'm 31, but I still want to be adopted.
That's the thing about, like, most things in this world, is especially successful things. Look at, like, every cell phone, look at every car, look at every computer, all the things that we use all the time. Are they 100% reliable? No. But we still use them and need them like they are 100% reliable when they're in fact not. And that's the greatest ploy that like any business can have on a consumer, is that we're going to sell you a subpar thing, but make it seem like it's the thing that you need the fucking most.
Yeah, that's
and we're going to make it just good enough so you'll keep wanting it, but it could technically be 10 times better if we actually got our heads out of our ass and did something right.
So on that note, we'll work on making a better podcast.
No, we'll make it just good enough.
Good enough to keep you
so they'll keep wanting to hear it again.
But it could be 10 times better, but don't expect that.
Yep. Don't expect 10 times better than this, but definitely stay tuned for the next one.
Well, everybody, thanks for checking us out for the Smitty and D's After Dark. I hope you are as far into the high life as we are with the Miller.
For sure.
What else I should be talking about? You guys want comments, concerns, hit us up at smittyand@yahoo.com.
Yes, go to our email address, and I would assume after hopefully a few weeks we'll be getting this website back on track. We've had obviously a small bit of financial hardships due to the holidays, as well as myself moving and all
we are in the bottom of this roller coaster called life.
But even if we get just a Podbean up, we'll at least start to try to get some episodes out more.
Well, we do have.
We're
going through what we have, that little one going through just through the KDHR site itself,
yes,
so you can go through that. And we have the iPhone app out now. That actually I checked out and it's pretty nice. It's a website app, so it just gives you a direct link to a website, which is pretty nice.
By the end of January, we should be having the iPhone app, as well as we already have the Android app out. So if you guys have a smartphone that involves Android, you can download it from the Google Play Store. It's KDHR. You can listen to our past episodes as well as our live feeds from that app. And obviously, if you go to kdhr.net or livestream.com/kdhr, you can see all of our past episodes there.
Do it.
So, on that note,
all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Smitty and D's After Dark. As always, be good, be nice. I need to come out with a new. I need a new closing for After Darks. Be good, be nice is like just so clean cut.
How about like keep your butthole tight?
Be good, be nice, keep your butthole tight.
Yep.
All right. As Daryl says, be good, be nice, keep your butthole tight.